Welcome back, guys. I've got Sapioplex with me. John is on vacation, so we are going to talk about Red October, which I have no idea what Paul's going to say. He's been talking about it, and I know everyone's been talking about Red October because it's right around the corner. So I'm kind of just going to let you jump into it.
Okay, so this has to do with Q posting about Red October over and over and over again. Everybody has their ideas about what Red October is.
Mm-hmm.
It probably has multiple meanings, but one of the meanings is something that I was able to figure out because John and I had gone back through JFK and Eisenhower and Truman and FDR all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt with Jack Pershing and all the generals and kind of pieced together what was going on through the last 100 years.
Yeah.
And through that lens, Red October actually means something completely different than what everybody thinks, but it's really potent. I think it's one of the best jokes of all time, but I have a terribly distorted sense of humor, so others may not agree with me.
Confirmed.
Okay, so in order to understand this, you have to understand that these intelligence guys who piece all these plans together are some of the smartest people in the world. They're also really, really funny. Okay, they love their puns. This is a bad pun. Okay. So in the movie Red October, there's a scene where they're on the Russian sub and there's another Russian sub that shoots a torpedo at them. And so Captain Ramius gives Jack Ryan the order to turn the submarine down to a specific angle, which is going right toward this torpedo. And then the torpedo bounces off the submarine. And right after that scene, the military commander that's with them says this. He says, "Combat tactics, Mr. Ryan. By turning into the torpedo, the captain closed the distance before it could arm itself." Say it again, by turning into the torpedo. Now, you can turn a car into a driveway, or you can turn a popsicle into a unicorn. So if you look at it through the lens of what the military did to do all these stings over the last 100 years, there was a torpedo coming at the United States to mess up the United States. The military infiltrated that torpedo and turned into the torpedo.
Right, which goes along with everything that we've kind of been saying, that you've got a lot of good guys acting really badly.
Right, but you'll never understand this unless you've expanded your thinking and expanded the time frame and understood what was actually going on. So it turns out, I think one of the most potent meanings of that is just a really bad pun. You got to love these psyops guys. They turned into the bad guys.
But what does it have to do specifically with October, or is it Red October because it has to do with the movie to get to that pun?
I think it has to do with the movie to get to that pun, but it also, I think it has multiple meanings. So I think, red, we know from the colors red, green, yellow, blue. Red is the color of truth. So maybe we're going to see a huge reveal of truth in October. I have no idea.
We're already seeing a lot of drip, drip. I'm waiting for the flood.
Yeah, well, yeah. I think at this point, everybody's tired of it saying, I want to get off this merry-go-round. I just want this thing to end. It's not going to work like that. They're burning through a giant bell curve of people waking up at different times for different reasons. And they're churning this thing. It's a giant machine with millions of moving parts. So it's, sit back, eat some popcorn, enjoy the show.
It does make a lot of sense. I mean, the good guys playing bad guys, and it's the only real way to, because as confused as we are, as the public is as confused as they probably are, because they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the bad guys probably didn't know what hit them. All they knew was their stuff just suddenly it was all screwed up, and every time they tried to do something, it got messed up, and so and that went on for decades, and they couldn't get what they wanted, and they kept losing, and they said, what the hell is going on?
Yeah,
it's because the good guys turned into the bad guys. And so the only reason we know about the Satanism, for example, is because the good guys told us about the Satanism by using the media that they controlled to put this messaging everywhere.
Yeah.
When you go out and look at the songs and the movies and everything, you can see references to it once you learn a few basic rules about how to read it.
What's coming in the next couple of weeks?
More stupidity. I think that anybody with a brain right now can tell that the media stories that we're seeing and the news is getting dumber and dumber. I mean, it's getting really, really stupid. And I think it will get stupider. I think we will achieve levels of stupid not previously thought possible. And then it'll get stupider after that.
Yeah.
And I think that's they're working their way down a brainwashing curve to deeper and deeper brainwash people. And they have to make it dumber and dumber to wake people up. And it isn't that those people are dumb. It's just that they're more deeply brainwashed and they're not watching as closely.
Yeah.
So it's going to take time, and they're just going to have to bash on them for a long time. But yeah, I expect this to get super absurd.
I mean, yes, I expected that too. Paul, you've been doing a lot of writing.
There's about 4 new articles, I think 4 or 5. It's on my Substack, which is sapioplex.substack.com. One of them is about Q's information bomb, Q's media bomb. There's 4. I wrote a thing about how the Satanists ruled the world, and that's about the origins of secret societies in general. I've never seen anybody write about that, but that's about my theory about how it actually started, like the very first secret society going back before recorded history. What must have happened for that? I wrote a piece about karmic retribution being false. I don't believe that the Satanists would ever tell us what they're going to do before they do it. I think that's a good guy lie made up in order to provide cover for them telling us about Satanism in the media.
Yeah.
I think it worked fantastic because there's no defense for it.
I agree with you on that one.
I wrote an article called How the Phonograph Killed the Cult. That's phonograph, not photograph. And that's an interesting one because that goes back to the origins of what I think happened to start the 150 or 160 year long thing that we're seeing now. And that's about dualism and how I think dualism philosophically died in the secret societies in the mid 1800s. And then the last one I wrote is about a thing that I had written 10 years ago called Sapiocracy, which is why I have the name Sapioplex. And it's a decision-making system that could potentially replace government with an extremely efficient system. And I wrote that as kind of a beginner introduction because the whole description of Sapiocracy is about 27 pages and it's pretty heady. So I wanted to have like a beginner thing, but that's actually garnering a lot of interest.
Yeah. So I haven't made it all the way through, but I'm working on it.
Actually, keep track of how long it takes you to read it because I can't judge the reading time by myself, so I can't put an estimate up.
Yeah.
But if other people tell me how long it took them, then I can kind of average some numbers and figure that out.
Yeah, we'll do. Well, Paul, thank you so much. There is an episode that we filmed before John left that I haven't gotten around to editing, but I will do that soon. I know it's been a crazy.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Spent a lot of time with doing that, but hopefully I will be able to edit tonight and tomorrow. So I'll get to it. Thanks, Paul. Till episode 6 comes out too.